right, again, I want to thank everybody for coming. I want to continue to give God the glory and giving us another opportunity to get better as a football team. And we're looking forward to this next ball game. From last ball game, I think the positive were our fans were outstanding. They were phenomenal. Our student section answered the challenge that I gave them. They were fantastic as far as being there and giving us energy, giving us enthusiasm, and it was a fantastic environment in college football. So it was great to see that in our fans being there. Our players played very hard. They played every play, throughout the ball game, and so I'm proud of that. And there's a lot that we can bank on from there as we move forward. Also, congratulations to Josh Woodrum there and John Lunsford as far as the Big South Players of the Week. Moving on to Appalachian State. Obviously, they're a very good football team, being an FBS team there, and with their 85 scholarships and our 63 going in this ball game, it's going to be a terrific challenge for us. I know that they have a new quarterback here in the last 3 ball games. A redshirt freshman quarterback is a dual threat guy that can run, that can throw. They're going to always have 3 or 4 wide receivers out there. And so it's going to be a great challenge. Their defense is an odd front, a little bit different in some schemes that other odd teams do, so we're going to prepare for that. Scott Satterfield, the head football coach there, really knows about their program, a former player there. He's been an assistant coach there and now the head coach. So he is very, very instrumental on building a great program there at the FBS level. Obviously, they've had great history and things that they've done there in the past. Moving on to injuries, it's really Jimmy O'Grady is out, Nick Sigmund's out, Todd Macon's out, Josh Smith is out, Wesley Scott's out, and Wesley Scott has a leg injury. The keys to the game, I'm not changing anything from last week because we didn't do neither one of these 3 areas that I mentioned last week. Talking about winning a turnover margin, we didn't do that. I lost that 1-0. Special teams, we didn't win that. We lost 5 out of the 6. And then the third down conversion was absolutely unacceptable on both sides of the ball. So those things got to get corrected. So I'm staying with those 3 things until we get it cleared up as far as this ball game. Open up to questions.
Speaking of third downs, Coach, what are the deficiencies in that when you look at?
Defensively, it's always a little bit of some small details. Somebody just off just a little bit. In some cases, there have been great catches. So got to give some credit to the offensive side of the ball. But when you get a 60, 70% as far as on the defense side of the ball that they're actually converting, that's not what you want. And so we just got to be more detailed. We're going to emphasize that a lot more, probably have a lot more third down situational than practices. We've always had it every week. We're just going to give it a little bit more emphasis and a little bit more things on our practice time. And on the offensive side, too. So it ain't just the defensive side of the ball. Both sides of the football that we're particularly here in the last 3 or 4 ball games is not what you want. It's not even close to what you want as far as on both sides of the ball. So we're going to emphasize that and really show as far as really you're going to put the chain down. When I say that, working on it, you're going to put really down in distance. You're going to emphasize those specifics, 3rd and short, 3rd and medium, 3rd and long, 3rd and extra long. And so there's a big emphasis on that as far as here. We're probably going to do it here just about all 3 days versus we're doing it on 2 days of the week. We're going to do it all 3 days on both sides of the ball, but emphasizing what we need to get corrected on the third downs.
Yeah, before the season, you talked about last year and being 2 or 3 plays away, or 3 or 4 plays away, and it seems like it's kind of the same story this year. You're a couple plays here or there from winning a couple of these games. I mean, how frustrating is that you can't kind of get that right?
This year is a little bit different from a third down situation. We're on the field a whole lot on defense, and you give people more opportunities from our defense perspective, their offensive perspective. They are going to have more opportunities to score points, and so we got to get off the field. Offensive perspective, it kind of goes hand in hand with your football team. We're not on the field as much on the offensive side of it because we're not on third down, not converting third downs. And then it comes down, you can say, to 1 or 2 or 3 plays. But I think it's a little different from last year. We were better on third down conversions drastically last year compared to this year, if you say the same amount of time per 6 or 7 ball games. So you can sit here and say, yeah, there's still one play, which that's in every ball game. We can say that. But this is a little bit different from the really the third down is kind of a big obvious. It's, you know, if you're 40% here or there on third down, you know, that's okay. But we're drastically all the way on the other side. It's 28% offensively, and we're up in the 60s or so as far as on the defensive side.
Saturday, a lot of option. Was that more game specific to Richmond, or did you find something that you liked there with 39 points and over 400 yards?
It was more against Richmond's scheme, evaluating them last year and evaluating them this year, and we had that preliminary in our game plan during the offseason of something that we may do. We didn't know how much, but then as we saw them this year again, some of the scheme that they had defensively, that was the best way to attack them. And then plus it was a plus for us. They hadn't seen it as much, and they're going to have to make some adjustment on game time. They were not going to prepare for it during the preseason. So it was advantageous for us. There's no doubt about it that it helped us offensively.
Coach, how do you feel like you match up with Appalachian State as far as all the different matchups for the game?
Well, I think the skill-wise, they're probably going to be a little bit better. Their offensive side of the ball versus our defensive side. They have some quick people there on the receivers side of things of that nature. Their defensive line versus our offensive line there. I think they got some quick athletes. They're probably a little bit more athletic than us. If you look at across the board, offense, defense, special teams, they're going to have a little better speed. They're going to be a little bit more athletic. But we got to find ways that we can match up with them, and should be a good contest.
Play of the game Saturday, when Josh comes line and sees they have 6 defensive linemen, does he have a check down there, or was it he just didn't get rid of the ball as quickly as he could have?
Oh, it's a blitz. You got to get rid of the football. You don't have more people. They're gonna bring more than you can block. You got to get rid of the football. And we had the right call. We kind of figured that's what they're going to do. He knew what was going on, just to get the ball off. We had a fade route, and you got to get the ball off. It's no different than the pass he threw to PD the other time. It's no different. But that time he got it off. The other time he didn't. It wasn't the same blitz, but they still had a situation where they did have an unblocked player.
Do you have to change something with your corner coverage with the way that these teams are killing you with this short passing game and this quick hit passing game?
I'm not too concerned about that. I mean, we mix it up. When I say we mix it up, there's times where you want to call it having a corner playing a little tighter, playing press coverage, playing, if you want to call it cover 2, a corner up tight. You got a safety over the top. So you just keep mixing it up. And there's times where you got to bring a blitz and all those things. So we're not giving up a whole lot of big plays. So you can look at it all different ways. There's some pluses and some minuses. You rather for somebody to drive the ball down the field because there's more of a chance of a mistake versus if you do blitz and now you go something over the top. So you got to choose your shots when you're going to do that. So I'm not too concerned about that. It is an opportunity that, again, whether it's first down, second down, but the bottom line is third down. We got to get off the field, whether it's 3rd and 2, whether it's 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8. And a lot of times it's been 3rd and medium and long. Again, 3rd and short, they're going to make a few of those, but we'll mix it up.
You talk a little more about Lamb and kind of compare him to the last couple quarterbacks you've seen.
You know, I would say the other 2 people, no question, are more experienced. And they know where to go and when to do things when things were showing up. Again, he's only has played in 3 ball games, I do believe. So I think he has the skill. I would say he's not quite as mature in understanding where to go and what to do with the football at this point in time. But he has all those skills. We just don't want it to be this ball game where maybe he catches on fire and being able to do some of those things, because they're going to throw the ball quite a bit. That's part of their repertoire. And we just got to be able to defend it and get off the field.
Coach, coming off a tough loss like Saturday night, how good is it for the players to have another tough challenge right away, not a bye week or a lesser opponent, just another tough challenge right out of the gates?
Well, we got quality opponent again, and our guys are ready to play another football game. And again, the best way is always go back out and play again the next week. And our guys are ready to play. We understand where we're at. We do understand the specifics of what we need to improve on. There has been some improvement in the kicking game there as far as that goes. But there are some other areas where we need to improve on. And this is a good opponent that we're going to get challenged on that, particularly on the third down conversions. And so it's good to play this football game. The game is away. You always want to play at home. But again, we're looking forward to this ball game.
How do you address avoiding a hangover after such an emotional loss in double overtime?
I'm not concerned about that. I guess the 2 or 3 years I've been here, our players have great resiliency. They've been relentless all the time in practice, focused. This is a good group. They understand what they need to do and how they need to do it. Probably some of them would like to go ahead and play a football game here today. So they're eager to play. They're eager to practice. They're eager to be taught. They're eager to get things rectified and get things fixed and become a better football team.
With the injuries at running back, are you going to continue to try to work Masha in there a little bit more in the backfield?
We're still game planning, so that's always a possibility. Again, we have the other 2 young men is Austin Kegler and Carrington Mosley they've been taking reps, and so we're just going to put together a game plan we best see fit against Appalachian State. It may be best to play Kegler and Mosley a little bit more than Masha, so we hadn't completed all that, but that's always a possibility is what we show with Masha being in the backfield.
Marcus Cox had a huge year last year for him. Running back seems to have slowed down a little bit this season, but what kind of challenges does he present for you guys?
Well, he's a good running back, a guy we got to tackle well. He does breaks tackles, has good quick feet in the hole and make good cuts. And so we got to tackle well. I think that's the biggest thing of that nature. He maybe not quite had as much running room as he's had in the past. At this point in time, too, they've also moved up a level in the FBS, so it could be some of it as opponents. I don't know specifically, but he is a good football player.
What kind of a luxury is it as a head coach to have a guy like Lunsford that you can legitimately think about a 65-yard field goal if you need it? I mean, it's not something most people in this country have.
Well, yeah, I guess particularly like this last ball game, it felt pretty good that you didn't have to go 40 yards or so to get in a legitimate field goal range. And again, had in our mind, it wasn't a whole lot of wind, but we were thinking anywhere 65 and under, we have a legitimate chance for him to hit it. And so that's a good thing that we have in our repertoire, and obviously we now put it on tape. And so, people know that we have that, and sometimes you may play a little differently defensively, knowing that you have somebody late in the ball game or late before the half where you have a shot to kick a field goal that you don't have to go as far.
Appalachian State's having a tough season record-wise, 1-4, I think, coming in. Good time or bad time to catch them at this point in the year?
Well, like most time I say, it's not necessarily about them. It's about us, and they happen to be the next opponent. We just got to figure out what they do good and how that we're going to be able to slow them down, both offensively and defensively, and being able to attack them in a great way where we can be efficient and putting points on the board and then keeping them off the board. And, again, it's going to be a tough place to play. They have a good crowd. They're going to be very, very supportive, and so we're going to go into a tough environment and got to be ready to play. So I'm excited about this opportunity, though. We're looking forward to going to Appalachian State and play it.
At this point, are you in the continued kind of struggles in the kick return game? You had that one big mistake down there that cost you a great deal of field position the other night.
I ain't concerned about this last one. That was a little tough deal. I mean, again, the ball hit, and unfortunately he touched it. So I think that there's going to be some improvement in there. We did have a little bit better blocking as far as watching a block on the kickoff return. So I feel like there was some improvement on that. Yeah, we had the one unfortunate touch, but last ball game there was some improvement on the kickoff return with all the other 8-9 guys.